Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Morgan and bid you all welcome back to Elex. So it's been a couple weeks since I was able to play this. I was focusing on doing the graduation thing, finishing school, taking care of all that business. And I still, as of recording this, I think I have 3 episodes to upload, so I'm still behind, but it is what it is. Last episode, if I recall correctly, we got the ID, or the fake ID we need to enter the Domed City here. I'm curious to see what's inside. Supposedly, clerics have the stranglehold grip on this, but there's a lot of outlaws putting up some kind of resistance of sorts. And let's just see what we got going on in here.
Halt! Not a step further. No one is allowed into the city without an entry permit.
Huh. Whoa, I did not know that we could take it that far. I am curious to see what happens. That's probably not a good idea. I'm going to keep a separate save for that in case things get real weird.
Halt! No.
You know counterfeit IDs are being sold right in front of your gate.
What? Have you got one? Show me. Well, that's good quality work, too. I'm not sure I would have spotted that as a fake. Thank you. We need citizens like you around here. You've done me a service, so I'll give you a valid ID. Just make sure you take this fake straight to Eric when you get inside, right? Oh, and there are some rules I need to tell you before you enter. First, stay away from the generators. Nobody but the technicians is allowed access to them. That sort of security is why we need to keep a rein on fake IDs. So take that fake straight to Eric, okay? Anyone you meet in the city who hasn't got proper documents, report them to him. We can only keep peace in the city if we all work together, and we keep the city secure. That's what was laid down by the Great Council of Magalan. And the Great Council gave the clerics the responsibility for guaranteeing the city's independence. That means everyone is welcome here, until they cause trouble. So keep the peace while you're in there. Our suggesters are busy enough without you adding to their workload. And that's it. You may pass.
Huh. Council. I was actually just about to inquire, kind of muse about that, so I'm glad that we have the ability to ask a question.
You mentioned the Council of Magalan.
The Great Council, yes. You'll have to speak to Judicator Alois if you want to know more about that. I'm not that well informed on my history.
Well, damn. I thought that was part of your indoctrination, but hey, it is what it is.
What's a suggester?
Our suggesters are the reason things remain peaceful in the city. If someone causes trouble, then they're either thrown out, see a suggester for reorientation, or both. But don't worry, it's a positive experience that will leave you happy about life.
It's a lobotomy!
I recommend avoiding it.
That sounds utterly terrifying.
Where can I find Eric?
Just go straight down the path into the inner city. You should find him there.
I heard you hold people prisoner if they can't prove their identities.
Of course. Need a valid ID to enter or to leave. It's important we keep the right balance here, and that we can hold people accountable. We've worked hard to keep things running here. We can't start letting people flood in, or the troublemakers will take over. Anyone who tries to get around with ID is given straight to the suggesters to be taken care of.
I think you mean without ID, but hey.
What's happening in the city?
What?
Nothing right now.
What's happening in the city? What's happening in the city? What's happening in the city?
Nothing right now, but it's simmering. You can feel
Whose voice was that?
There was something building even before we let those Alp separatists in here. They just lit the touch paper. But hey, we're supposed to be a sanctuary, so someone decided to open the gates and let the separatists in.
Ooh. Oh, I'm not sure I'm keeping this path we're going on, because I don't know if I want to throw Hunter under the bus like that, but I'm curious to see what he says.
I was also an Alb once.
You? Bullshit. Since when do separatists travel in small groups? What, you're serious? As if we didn't have enough trouble. You better stick with the rest of your crowd. then I'll know where to find you when we need to kick you out.
Well, that was a hell of a change of attitude.
Who's Alois?
Alois is the judicator in charge of the city. You'll find him in the castle. He likes to stay close to the generators.
Keeps him warm. I'm glad he steps out of the way now. So I just can't get over how, like, to this day, Piranha Bytes still, or whoever they have localize their stuff for them, still fucks up dialogues like that, where they just have somebody, they have the wrong guy speak a line. And it's just absolutely hilarious to me. Alright, well, I wonder what Hunter does if we tell him that this ID is fake. Or tell him that we turned him in.
Spitball of a day, ain't it?
I guess so. I don't know. I feel like they say we can't come or go without an ID. I get the feeling that that's not going to be as bad as all that. But also, I can just teleport. I mean, honestly. I don't know if there's a teleporter inside the city, but I'm sure we can find a way in. Since he steps out of the way, I doubt he tries to stop us. But I guess we'll just roll with our dialogue choices and see what happens. I mean, it's an RPG. There's no wrong answers, right? How am I going to find out what was a good or bad idea until I, make the decision? So we're just going to roll with whatever our gut feeling tells us. Okay, so it actually just stops us there. No walking into the barrier from this side, which is good, I guess. This is a very curious looking fellow. He's tapping on a paper clipboard as if it's a touchscreen. See if he does it again. I mean, honestly, why even give him a paper clipboard? If you can't be bothered to make a new animation, just give him a fucking tablet.
Keep your hands off my machines. Any accidents are gonna be dangerous for me, you, and the whole city. The energy regulators are screwed. The surge gauge is failing and I can't see why. And now the shield profiler is returning a really strange set of values. Altogether, that makes for one dangerous set of problems that could fry both of us if the wrong bit of kit gets jolted. And I'm the one who has to fix all this. Ah, shit, I can't even sort out the replacement parts until I have this stabilized.
I can get the replacement parts for you.
You would? Well, okay, yeah. That would give me time to stop this from going... You'll need to go to Eric to fetch them for me. But do me a favor and don't take forever in getting them here, alright?
Well, we have more than one reason to see him. I mean, I wonder if we can still... Excuse me there, sir. I don't think you're allowed to do that. What on earth?
What do you want? Do you back the clerics here, or do you want them gone?
I want you out of that damn crate, because that's not natural.
You get right to the point, don't you?
And are you gonna give me an answer?
I'm for the king.
I'm against the clerics.
Right, good. I can see you talk sense.
That was easy to convince you.
Safe to keep order. But it's obvious they want to drop their neutrality and extend Ignadon's control into Abessa. Not allowing anyone in or out of the city. That's just the start of it. You think that's because the Alps are getting closer? Or that those followers of Kalan really want a backdoor for invasion?
The Albs are more of a threat than the clerics.
Executions, converters, torture. Believe me, I know all about that shit. But those guys are only interested in Elex, and as far as I know, there isn't any more here in the city than there is elsewhere. So why should they show any interest in attacking a fortified position to get it, instead of sweeping up all there is out there?
The Albs want all the Elex. All of it. No matter where it is.
We won't get in their way. We don't want Elex. They have to see that. They'd be attacking us for nothing. No, it's the clerics.
Ah, the Elex is in your blood, brother. They're gonna want it.
Hunter sent me.
Why didn't he come himself?
He was afraid he wouldn't be let out of the city again if he was caught.
You mean he was afraid the same thing would happen to him that happened to me? Fuck it. At least the suggesters haven't found me yet. Did Hunter give you something for me?
It was pretty easy to find you. I mean, you stick out like a damn sore thumb. Like that. Alright, fuck it, we'll give it to him.
Yes, I have something for you.
Thanks. I was starting to think that I would never leave this stinking cleric-infested dome. I don't know if Hunter promised you a reward, but here's something for me in any case. You've helped a good cause. Trust me.
So I guess we kind of made our decision there. Probably wasn't wise, but it's too late now.
Why don't you do something to stop the clerics?
I trust you. You gave me my ticket here after all. But I can't tell you our plan. But you must have realized by now the dome must go. The clerics can't be allowed to take Abessa.
I wonder if that kind of screws with our possibilities here. It said we took a side, but I mean, all we did was give this guy an ID. And it doesn't seem like he's going anywhere, so I imagine there's going to be something involving something involving sabotaging the generators to bring down the dome. I actually wanted to bring Falk here. I didn't mean to keep Duras with me, but I guess we'll see what happens. But I wonder if we still bring the parts to the generator, if that kind of swaps us back to the cleric side of things. I really don't want to make a decision just yet. Sorry, what? Oh, he's mad at us.
Hey, you.
Hey.
You don't have any broken energy weapons, chainswords, or anything like that?
No, I got a big mallet.
It's my business. So if you find any, bring them to me. I'll give you good prices for them.
I can't really see you to speak to you, but...
Did you flee here from the desert?
Flee? No. But to live in Tavar, you need shards. And despite my talents, I wasn't one of the Duke's favorites, and that made making a profit hard.
What are your talents?
Mechanical and engineering genius. I can make anything you need from bootlaces and glue.
Alright, MacGyver, settle down.
Interruptions. And staying undisturbed is hard in the Domed City. There's always someone trying to stick their nose in. And those berserkers are the worst for it. One of those assholes killed my friend for fun. Now that bastard is focused on me and nobody's helping me. Even though they know it'll be their turn next, and keeping their head down won't save them.
The hell's going on? Since when do berserkers just idly murder people?
Who is this berserker that's giving you trouble?
Brabak. A bull of a man and twice as ugly. Bone-breaking bastard.
About Brabak. Where can I find Brabak?
He's usually near the inn. Just follow your nose. If it smells like piss, you found him.
Leave Brabak to me.
You'll deal with him? That would be great, really great. You won't find me trying to put you off that. If you think you can scare him off so he leaves me alone, that would be good. Even if I do, I think ramming a knife into his guts would be a better approach. I would have tried that myself, but if I'd failed... But if you do get rid of him, however you do it, then I will pay you.
Sounds good.
Let's trade.
Okay.
I mean, we'll have to see if he has a side of the story, that Brabak fellow. Doesn't seem like you have anything good, considering what you claim your business to be. I mean, I guess we can sell you stuff.
Let's...
Okay.
We got to sell. Can hang on to that. Broadsword is no longer necessary. High-tech sunglasses. Or regular sunglasses. Temporarily makes normal items easier to see. That's a lot of cash for that. Doesn't seem like it'll be that useful though, so I won't keep it. Bookworm and crafting. We'll hang on to trinkets in case those really do us some favors later. I don't want to be in such a hurry to sell them. Duras, I know that you're excited to use the jetpack, being a berserker and all, but you don't need to use it at every opportunity you think of. I mean, to step down...
You come here from Goliath?
To step down from a ledge doesn't seem like the necessary opportunity. What does this guy have to say? Gustav.
What's happening in the city?
Well, the Domed City is a refuge for all. Outlaws, berserker, clerics, anyone who wants to be somewhere other than their homeland. Being away from home, you'd think they'd care less about what faction they were from. But for some reason, some of them have got even more fanatical. That makes keeping order difficult sometimes. The outlaws are the worst. They don't understand rules or sharing, or in some cases, that people have a right to stay alive.
You don't seem to like outlaws.
All people are welcome here. The Domed City is a refuge for all.
Until they kick you out.
That means all, not just outlaws. There's a half-dozen outlaws hanging around outside the city at the old farm now. They just want to get in to cause trouble. I mean, we got everyone settled down and living together, and those outlaws, I just wish they'd disappear.
You want the outlaws in the farm to die?
Whoa, that's not what I said. I just want them to stop causing trouble for good.
Well, there's really only one sure way to do that, and I think you know what it is, as much as you try to dance around the topic.
About the outlaws in the farm.
You mean the threat on our doorstep? The canker in our midst? They who should disappear?
He who shall not be named. Fuck it. I don't have an interest in killing them. So I won't even humor the idea. Attention, thieves. Residents of the Domed City, the recent succession of thefts is a threat to us all. Stay vigilant. Report suspicious behavior to the authorities. Alright. Nothing that important. There's a book there. I want to read it. But I guess I can't. Hey, it's a crony! So what is outside this gate? Still inside the dome. I think I dodged this area before because I saw that guy standing there. I don't think that radar dish is doing you a whole lot of good, Daryl.
Gift and treasures of travel, for it brings new encounters. So what are you? Merchant? Bounty hunter? Or a nobody, like most people out there?
I'm a somebody.
I'm not in a faction.
Well, guess you're one lonely son of a bitch then, aren't you? Here, before you start begging for help, consider it a gift from the Duke. You gave me enough that I can share.
It is appreciated.
Thanks.
Don't thank me. Thank the Duke. If you end up in the desert in Tavar, you can thank him in person by joining the Outlaws.
Oh, I see. This is a charity that comes with terms and conditions.
How do people live here?
Here, smoke one with me before you start bombarding me with questions, yeah?
Oh, this guy's full of generosity.
What do you have to offer?
Troll dung, rat scab, it's all first-class stuff.
Sounds delicious.
Smoke it either way. I'll never forget the experience.
Forget it.
Well, that's your choice.
Hey, I was curious.
Open a door in your head and look inside, right? But if you won't, then all the more for me. That done, let's get into the real business.
What business?
Real business. A proper opportunity. You see, the clerics have had this city under their control for years. And the Duke thinks they're planning to take control everywhere, sooner or later. And
not a far-fetched assumption.
The city could be the starting point for their military campaign. So, my job is to find out if he's right. If there is something brewing that could be dangerous for us in Tavar.
What information have you gathered about the clerics?
Pretty much nothing so far. They've not been very loose-lipped around me. I must sorta stand out.
So, you want me to be your spy?
I want you to find out information. Now I can see in your eyes that you haven't fallen for the cleric's tricks. You aren't simple enough to believe every piece of troll shit you're fed.
What do you expect from me?
All that you have to do is
get that damn hammer out of my face.
And I've even got the guy lined up ready for you. His name is Lutz. He's one of Alois's technicians. As far as I know, he's trying to re-establish communications with the other clerics in Ignadon. While Alois will tell you the clerics here are neutral, separate from the ones in the Horde. Go and grill Lutz. Find out if there'll be an offensive soon. Do that, then come back to me as soon as you have any useful information.
So, what do you think? Should we get involved here?
Don't worry, there's no getting involved. You shouldn't have any trouble finding something out.
How many shards are you talking about?
Enough. The Duke is generous. I pay. That much you can be sure of.
Interesting. I wonder what Falk would have thought of that if we had brought him along, but I don't feel like running back there to find out.
Why do you think that these technicians will know about the cleric's plans?
Because he's the guy that maintains all the communications equipment. He must have heard something from the comms. And he's more likely to talk than anyone further up the chain. I want to know what he's heard. I need to know what he knows.
Alright. Sound logic there. This guy seems pretty straight and narrow. I feel like even if we can't necessarily trust him, he's at least a bit more to the point than any of the clerics would be. So I guess we'll indulge his curiosity for now.
Those creatures need dealing with.
Really? Couldn't say some kind of physics to this? I mean, every game since like Oblivion has figured that out.
It is not efficient for us to talk.
This guy's pretty straightforward. So this guy's still got the pale skin and this sort of tranquil attitude going on. I wonder.
It is not efficient for us to talk.
I wonder about the Separatists. If they're, I feel like we've been told about them before. I just can't remember if they are still, like if they still consume Elex. They just don't. Excuse me.
Or to cause problems. This area is a sanctuary for refugees. There's nothing here for reavers, recruiters, or troublemakers.
What's wrong with you? Have I done something to piss you off?
Call it experience, but those in need and those willing to help don't normally question my motives.
What is that awful noise?
The only thing that matters. That makes a real man.
Can you quiet that down? Those sparks look awful. God.
Why are you torturing yourself over that?
Nah.
Can I have a conversation with you somewhere besides that noise? God, this is irritating.
Are you always so edgy?
You know you wouldn't need to diffuse things if you didn't get people wound up in the first place.
Well, you started shit with me.
Being back in Goliath all over again.
What brought you out here?
This is a place away from the war. A place people can make up their minds without being pressured to join one of the factions. If the people here wanted to join a faction, they would have. But some people aren't ready for that. Or they've been cast out. They have to go somewhere.
So there's no faction in charge here?
Well, the clerics keep order, but it's not like the Horde where entry means you have to join them. Here you can forget about factions.
You're a berserker. Is Adan trying to conquer Abessa?
I don't answer to Adan. And these people belong to no faction. They belong only to themselves. I stand as their protector against anyone who would force them to do otherwise. My only connection to Adan is my magic. I wish it was more, but wishes don't make things so.
Have you been exiled from Goliath?
Exiled? No. There are those in Adan who want to use my magic for their own purposes. Ever since my power started to grow, they changed me. Their mana changed me, and that change just won't stop. I'm becoming stronger and stronger. It is terrifying.
If that's true, why don't you use your power?
I do, I have. But sometimes it overwhelms me. That's why I fight alone. If I lose control of a spell, there's a chance I could kill anyone and everyone around me. The warlords wanted to test me. Try my powers, to harness them. Now I need to find a solution myself. But to do that, I need to study the properties of Elex, to learn more about it.
You think you're gonna get that answer here?
I could use someone like you.
Use? There's a word I've heard too much. Well, count me out. I'm not interested in being used.
I could help you.
What do you know of what I need? What do you know of how to help me? Elex marks people. Mana, chems, exposure from food tainted by it. It stays with people. You have its mark on you. You're different somehow. What is it about you?
I took Elex in the past. Is that what you're seeing? Or is there something else?
took it. You were fed it. You were an Alb soldier. Well, it seems we have something in common. We've both been fed Elex in one form or another. It's changed us. And neither of us know what that means we are now.
What do you think? My offer still stands.
And what exactly is it that you're planning?
I am going to end this war by taking the fight to the Elexiters. And I'm trying to put together a group skilled enough to win that fight.
And you think I'll take part in this?
In return, I will help your quest to find the Elex you're searching for. Then you can improve your magical abilities. You said yourself, the longer you are here, the more you fear your powers will overwhelm you. The longer you stay here, the more danger you put these people in. If you really want to protect them, you need to leave.
Even if that's true, why should I leave with you?
I was an Alb. I know Elex and I know magic. I know the impulses that follow you even during sleep. I know the nightmares and the problems of trying to control power that really wants to control you. And I know what it's like when all that is taken from you. We can help each other.
And it's not like I have other options. Not in the long term. You're right. I'm hiding from it here. I need to get out there and find a real solution. I'll wait by the main gate, and we'll see if your actions can match your words. You should stock up here before we go.
I will meet you by the gate.
Just don't keep me waiting, or you might find I changed my mind.
Well, looks like we got something to do here. Unfortunately, it seems like we kind of blew our cover in front of Duras. I don't know if he's ever suspected that we were an Alb, but it's not really a question now, is it?
Do you think we make a good team, Duras?
Two experienced warriors like us?
So I wonder why that never really comes up with some of our comrades. Some of them who definitely do not, or have not confirmed that we are a former Alb. Oh, hang on. Here's a separatist with a name. And someone I can get to shut up with that damn torch.
What do you want from me? To drive me off? Or maybe even have me killed? You don't scare me. Your people are a plague upon this land. Although, there is something different about you. Do you usually spend time with people like us?
You're really the first one I've met, but,
I was an Alb myself once.
Yes. You stopped taking Elex. That is rare.
Wasn't really a choice, but...
Question how you did it. May logic guide you.
Oh, that's a shame. I actually thought she'd be someone interesting to talk to, but she just kind of leaves it at that. Oh ho? What is this? Living among the free people of Domed City, I realize how much I detest them. For anything they do, they require payment. It has taken persistence to acquire the few primitive tools I have obtained. It should be easier to overcome if it weren't for the emotions I am suffering. Frustration, anger, both unproductive and inefficient. The city is corrupt. It will take strength to survive here and further our cause. The cause of the Separatists, not the Alabs, I assume. It's interesting that the Separatists seem to have their own armor. It's like the same, just colored yellow for some reason.
May logic guide you.
So I wonder what the actual cause of the Separatists is.
Hey, you.
Yeah.
Hey, it's you.
Who are you?
Yes, Frank. It's me, Jax.
I don't know you.
I heard they shot you down. That you were dead. Apparently that was wrong. But if you're here, does that mean you're a separatist now? Will you stay here and support our cause? I'm sure you would be very welcome.
What cause?
We've broken free from Zakor, from being slaves to Elex. And we've worked, persuaded people to allow us into the city. And now we're here, we are working to be allowed to stay. Would you be willing to help us?
Guess I have to make one choice or another.
We have to stick together. People blame us for this war, even though we left Zakor to escape it. They will doubt us until the day peace begins. I mean, they don't even trust each other. Among all these warring people, all these different agendas, we, you and I, share a similar destiny. It's the only way anyone will survive.
It seems like you're tolerated here in the city.
That is exactly what we are. Tolerated. We are still a long way from being accepted.
Albs who have become refugees in your own war.
This isn't our war. This city is a place of freedom, but all the old suspicions remain. The outlaws claim they are being oppressed. The clerics say they are neutral, but they aren't. The berserkers, they don't seem to know what they're doing, apart from avoiding their laws. We are trying to discover who we are. I think people see that we are all here for a new start.
Do you need help?
It is good that you offer to help us. The berserkers are already trying to get us thrown out of the city. We need the protection offered by this place. We won't survive without it. We've persuaded people here that we are worth a chance. But there will always be those who won't see it that way. And the Albs and Zakor want us dead. If we're to stay, we need someone to get to Caleb and York. They are key to our future.
About the threat of you being thrown out of the city. What is the problem with Caleb and York?
York is a berserker. He's accused us of spying for the Albs and Zakor. He claims he saw us handing over information about the shield generators. It's completely illogical. We are the ones with the most to lose if Zakor captures this city. But the free people are prisoners to emotion. It makes them doubt logic. They have already thrown one of our group out of the city. Now they are threatening the rest of us with the same fate. We are no friends of the Albs and Zakor. They would see us dead. We want this to be our home now. We need the free people to understand this.
I will help you.
Good. That is the response I wanted. It is best if you go straight to York. Caleb is already attempting further arguments to ensure our expulsion. But it is York's statement that has put us in danger. That lie underpins Caleb's argument against us. If people believe we are working with the enemy, we will be exiled from the city and left to die. But if York confesses his lie, then Caleb would no longer have the proof he claims. They would have no reason to expel us.
I see. So I wondered if the Separatists were like a unified group and had a global cause, but other than not wanting to maintain the war that the Albs have started, it seems that they're kind of like their own isolated groups with very kind of simple goals. Like these guys just want to be able to stay in the city, work and survive, but not necessarily give up their Elex or surrender to a creed they don't believe in. So I don't know. They have a bit more of a sympathetic argument than most of the factions do, in my opinion.
What goods have you got?
Okay, he's got some spells, I guess. He's got a fuck ton of them, too. Some recipes for Elex drinks. Alright, well, that Kaja woman, I'm curious what her story turns out to be. I guess she's someone we can end up enlisting as a follower. And much like Duras, actually has a loyalty quest to complete before she'll even humor the idea of joining us. Wonder why they grow so many pumpkins around here as opposed to anything else.
I stop listening whenever she opens her mouth.
I saw you.
Who are you?
You saw me what?
I saw how you came through into the dome. Who are you? Why were you allowed in?
That's none of your business.
Then it sounds like you got in here illegally.
I walked in the front door, you dickhead.
Claim to control the gates. They really don't seem to be able to stop people getting in. And by that, I don't just mean you. Can you believe it? There are fucking Albs in the city.
What do you have against the Separatists?
They are coming here. To our city. The only city with a real chance of peace among the factions. If it was up to me, then we would make sure these Albs went somewhere else. They might say we have the same goal, the same enemy, but I don't believe a word of what they say. Who says they aren't spies sent here to deactivate the dome? They can't be trusted.
And actually, it seems like the outlaws are the ones trying to pull that move, but...
You want to have all the Separatists thrown out of the city?
Yeah. And you know what? I have already started to make it happen. I'll recruit anyone who'll help get this done. We have an eye.
What the fuck is this guy doing?
I've seen the Separatists exchanging information with the Alps. Traitorous bastards.
I think you need to worry about your buddy over here. He seems a little possessed.
Who is this eyewitness?
The Berserker Jorg saw Fenk meet with an Alb in front of the city. Why would they meet if it wasn't to exchange information about the dome? Sadly, Jorg is the only one who's seen Fenk. And now he started saying he isn't sure he really saw Fenk meet an Alb from Zakor. So I have to jog Jorg's memory, or make sure he stops denying what he said. There has to be a way to do that.
Who are you?
Caleb. I lead the Berserkers who've chosen to settle here in Abessa.
You are separate from the Berserkers in Udan?
We have kept our beliefs, but left behind the laws. We have set our own rules here. Well, none of us are allowed to return to Udan now. Or we just end up being sent to the valley. As to why they came here, well, the first settlers were sent to Abessa to plant a world heart to expand the forest of Udan out here. But they were cut off from Udan by the Alps, left on their own to survive. And after a while, they decided to keep it that way. The warlords in Goliath weren't happy. But they're stretched too thin for another conflict, so here we are. And since they settled here, others have joined us. Some are escaped exiles, others just chose to leave Udan.
You don't think that Jorg could have been wrong in the first place?
No, never. You can't trust these separatists. They'll betray us sooner or later for sure. I'm telling you, this is just the beginning.
Later, all right?
All right.
It is all about serious personal dedication.
Oh, you got a name. Let's talk to you.
Hey, you're new here in the city, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I've just arrived.
I thought so. I saw you come through the gate, you see? Anyway, I want to ask you something, if that's all right. Have you been to Udan recently? To the Berserker's city of Goliath, to be exact. A good friend of mine is still there.
Well, if you saw us walk through the front gate, why can't you tell, what's his name, Caleb? Because he doesn't seem to believe that.
Who's your friend?
His name is Kral. He's a guard at the Mana Shrine. At least, he was when I left. He thought he still had a chance to save his brother, Grimar, from the Alb Converter. Do you know what happened to him?
I don't remember him, but I guess we found out he's dead.
Kral is dead.
No. Shit. Maybe if I'd stayed... You know, I was even planning how I could get to Goliath to see if I could get him out of there. I had this feeling something bad would happen to him. First his brother and then him. A curse on all of Udan. And thanks anyways.
Tell me about your life in Udan.
Me? I was a worker at the pit. You know, I extracted Elex from old machines so it could be transmuted into mana. I always wanted to join the Hooded Crows and learn the art of magic, but it wasn't to be. My parents forbade me from trying. My clan told me to stop trying. Not that any of that stopped me. And that's what got me banished. I stole mana from the shrine to try and learn magic myself. And I got myself...
Get the hell out of here, man.
They sentenced me to exile in the Valley of the Damned, but I escaped. I'd seen the Domed City when I was sent on patrol, so when I left Udan, this was the place I thought of. And here I am.
Hold that thought. That guy's pissing me off. Now this hammer's pissing me off.
I'll catch up with you again later.
I would like to learn Berserker magic.
Well, it's pointless asking me. I didn't manage to learn anything useful before I was exiled. You would have to join the Berserkers. They won't teach their magic to outsiders. But I don't know if I can recommend that in all good conscience. I left, after all. You will have to decide who you want to join.
Doesn't sound like you left. Sounded like you were kicked out.
You should do it.
Is that really the best I could do with the textures on this thing here? Crying out loud.
Really? Now?
He's
Oh,
been
there's a
chewing
hatchet.
on that thing for days.
Can I pick that up?
I call that dangerous half-knowledge.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. There was some, like, really industrial noise I was hearing from back here. I want to try and figure out what it was. I am curious. Well, what is this trapdoor here all about, I wonder? So I guess a lot of people just can't learn to get along here. And it's funny how Caleb seems to suspect that the Separatists are trying to deactivate the dome and cause trouble here. It really does seem like the Outlaws are to blame for that. I mean, the guy pretty much straight told us that that's what he wants to do. Alright, well, we still got a lot of people to look for here. And before... These guys... It's kind of suspicious the way they're standing up there like old Big Brother watching down on everybody. Was this a tavern? Oh shit, it's a slot machine. Don't actually seem to go anywhere.
I don't have any time right now. You can forget it, Braubeck. I serve everyone here.
Save yourself some work and some pain by doing what I say. Let those assholes drink piss from the gutters, and you keep your supplies for the real people.
What do you care who I serve?
It is all about
I still serve you, even though the other people complain about it.
So you are taking their side, are you?
Cook too long and I'm on nobody's side. I'm just getting on with my job.
You had better reconsider this.
Reconsider what?
The comet
One wrong
killed
word
this
and the
war.
clerics will throw
We're
you
just
out of the
dust
city.
Really? Now?
So do us both a favor and calm the hell down.
This isn't over. I will
Some
come
guys
back.
just open their mouths
When you
too
do,
much.
make sure you bring some shards.
I call that dangerous
Sick of giving credit, and I need the change, all right?
You're the asshole I just wanted to speak to.
Bunch of slobs.
Come over here.
I'm already here.
Let's get a drink together.
It sounds like he doesn't want to, you know, indulge you, but...
What are we celebrating?
Victory over the Alps.
I don't think we've quite gotten there yet.
Have another reason to celebrate. Because any reason works for me.
Victory over the Alps?
Well, imminent victory. Got to be, hasn't it? Or don't you have any confidence in us? Don't say the wrong thing now. You got to believe if you want to succeed.
That didn't really rhyme too well. I'm not sure what you're trying to pull there. It's interesting. This guy seems to have the Warlord armor, but he's not part of Goliath.
Sure, whatever you say.
Drink up. Drink up to the end of our days. Here, my friend, to what's coming. And now,
Cheers.
Tell me about your glorious deeds. Or have you just been sitting on your ass, letting others fight the beasts of Zekor for you?
I've done more fighting than a barfly like you.
Ha! You have to have balls to challenge me like that. Here, you've earned something to drink.
Why aren't you in a den with the other berserkers?
Fuck the berserkers. I don't have anything more in common with them. They would have exiled me to the valley sooner or later. So I beat them to the punch and left. Fuck them and their laws. You can have it much easier here.
Your reputation precedes you.
Let's just say, that crap-stained skin flap of a man was shooting his mouth off about me, and he didn't have anything better to say about you. It's about time someone pays him a visit. Now, you're the one to do it.
Who the hell are you talking about?
Lying shit is telling people I killed a family out in the Badlands. Total fucking bullshit. I killed 5 families out in the Badlands. Parading around out there. Hardly a weapon between them. Like they wanted to die. Those dipshits got themselves killed. And now, Riley spread it all around the dome. He's even got some of the guards believing his yammer. But if someone else were to shut him up, I'd be in the clear, and those guards would be off my back. Take care of him, and I'll make it worth your while.
You seem like a complete piece of shit.
You need to learn respect for others.
What? You think I'm a child? So piss off, or I'll give you your head on a plate.
You can try.
I'm gonna give your whore of a mother a reason to cry. Come here.
I swear those creatures are getting more dangerous.
Not again.
Well, if you're sure about that, then okay.
They say that the pilgrim Thorold has answers, but who knows?
So,
Yeah, I'd definitely
Why
need a
don't-
few more shards.
Whoops, I keep forgetting to disable that. That is such a weird parry mechanic. I just figured that out recently. I don't think I mentioned it. But there is a parry mechanic, and it's not all that hard to pull off, but it's very bizarre. Alright, well, Duras, you can shut your mouth, because this guy's an asshole.
All right. You've made your point, so leave me alone.
You had better leave people alone from now on.
I got it.
From now on, keep your hands off the outlaws.
And if I don't?
Then you'd better find a bodyguard before I come back for you.
All right. Fuck it. You get your wish.
Smart decision.
That was pretty straightforward.
Trouble. You sure you can trust him?
Hopefully this guy's still willing to serve us after we just caused us trouble in his bar, but it seems like we spared him more trouble than we gave him. So, I don't know why Duras was so upset by that. I mean, that guy is shooting his mouth off about being a straight-up murderer, and he's killing people for fun. I guess it really was as straightforward as the other guy said, except even more kind of repulsive. Piece of shit killed 5 families out in the wilds. What an asshole.
Hey, traveler. Is your throat dry? Are your feet aching?
Wow, you read me like a book.
I have what you need. One good swig will cure all worries, and that's guaranteed.
It's weird that every RPG or every video game in general has a bartender who pitches his services just like that. I've never been to a bar where they boasted about the drinks that they had on offer and what miracles it could do for you. They always just said, "What do you have?" And I say, "Beer," and that's the end of that exchange.
I heard about your fight with Brabeck.
Ah, forget that guy. Every city has someone like him. You just have to ignore them.
I ignored him with my hammer.
For you.
Do you have any news to go with that drink?
News? I presume you're talking about news from in here. I don't hear anything much from the outside now the city gates are sealed. Now, the future of the Domed City is the only topic people are concerned about right now. That's pretty much all of the conversation. There's been peace in here for years, but right now, well, we're all set for things to boil over. And I don't want to say it's the cleric's fault. It's always easy to blame the people in charge, isn't it?
Ain't that the truth?
Who else do we blame? The berserkers, the outlaws, the separatists? Me? I find it best not to blame anyone.
How's business?
Now that everyone is paying credit? Roaring. Not many people aren't happy to pay on credit. It's me that's holding the bill and hoping to get paid before I run out of supplies. Speaking of which, do you know where I can get any food supplies? I'll pay real shards to get more food supplies in.
I can help you if the job pays. Really pays.
Pays? You mean you want more than I offered? You want to exploit my situation?
Well,
You
Jesus.
forget it.
Well, I fucked that up.
Do you want to trade?
I should have gone with the last option, but I thought that was kind of like a more passive, dismissive response. Oh well. It be how it is. So it's interesting. He says everyone's paying on credit. I wonder who's hosting that credit besides him. Seems like he's expecting someone to pay up. Anybody watching?
That either, whatever you say.
Yoink.
As he wishes. You should do it.
You've got to sit down and ask, what am I doing?
Yoink.
They say that, but you know they collect Elex
It's
for
all the
themselves.
creatures out there. Makes it way too
I wish that they balanced the audio on the idle like background conversations a little bit better, because they are really distracting sometimes. So I kind of got to get out of here to clear my thoughts. Alright, well, we dealt with that Brabeck fellow, the bareback fellow. So I think we'll run back to what's his name. Let him know that he's safe for now. This guy's still stuck in the shipping container. That's always nice. Alright, buddy. No more barebacking for you.
About Brabeck. You needn't worry about Brabeck. He'll leave you alone.
Leave me alone? He won't do that while he still draws breath. Oh, please tell me you didn't appeal to his conscience. He hasn't got one.
Nah, I beat the shit out of him.
I made things clear to him. He won't be back.
Well, okay. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear. Wow. I might actually live through this year now. Thank you. Thank you. Here, this is for you.
Apparently I took another side. And both sides seem... Actually, I think I just reinforced my commitment of sorts to the Outlaws, which I don't really want to do, but... Like, what am I supposed to do? I mean, the Berserker guy's an asshole. The Separatists might seem like they might be alright. The Outlaws are at least, like, pretty sincere about what they want. They're not trying to hide anything or, you know, hurt anybody. I don't really want to help the clerics with their dictatorship here. Especially because, as far as the clerics are concerned, I mean, the Outlaws and the clerics are both kind of trying to establish this for their control. The Berserkers I have a bit more sympathy with because they are completely on their own. So this community is kind of like the last thing they have. And the Separatists even more so. But I guess we'll have to talk with a few more people to kind of develop that plot a little more and figure out exactly what to do here. But before we do any more in here, I want to actually work with Kaja and figure out what her quest is going to be. So I'm going to speak to her before we end this episode.
What kept you?
I'm here now.
So you are. And are you planning on telling me where you've set up camp or what comes next? Or do I have to wait for that too?
Okay. I'll tell you what's happened so far.
Bringing her up to speed, I guess?
You've done a lot, but you still have got a lot of work ahead of you. Or we have.
And we're not going to get where we need to without a jetpack.
Don't worry, I know how to use one of those. I'll keep up with you. Now can we talk about my problem?
Do it.
You said you wanted to study the properties of Elex. How will you do that?
I can feel the presence of Elex. Mostly where it's present in great quantities.
Like the converter?
You don't need any special powers to feel the Elex there. No, I'm talking about unrefined Elex. When it's raw, latent. I can learn more from it when it hasn't been altered. I want to explore Magalan and look for some large deposits of unrefined Elex.
Deposits? I thought Elex arrived with the comet.
You're right. Part of its power is that it isn't from here. I want to discover how it is spread across Magalan. But when it is processed by the Alps, the Elex changes. It becomes polarized. The transmuted form that the Berserkers get from their mana shrine changes it in similar ways. That keeps some of its power, but it's the Elex that came with the comet that I want to learn more about. I feel that there are secrets to learn about it. To understand those secrets, I need it untouched, pure Elex.
I suppose we can make that happen.
How do you want to find these large Elex deposits?
When the comet impact spread Elex across Magalan, it found its way everywhere. Into the seas, the rock, the air we breathe. But it is collected and concentrated in some places. I have felt the vibrations, the presence of these deposits. I want to track them down and examine them.
Where can you find this unrefined Elex?
The first deposit I'd like to investigate is north of the city of Abessa. I can show you.
Alright, I guess we'll head there in short order.
If it's so close, why hasn't anyone else found it?
I don't know. Maybe because nobody can feel Elex like I can.
Your senses are better than Alb technology.
Come with me and find out.
That sounds like a tempting offer.
Alright, show me the way.
It's not far from the city. Follow me.
Well, I guess we're just warping there. I thought we were actually going to follow her, but...
There is a vast amount of Elex flowing into the sea. It washes out of the cliffs and the ground, and it flows out across the planet. Elex is everywhere.
But you still think we need to find concentrations of it?
Yes, from the moment the comet struck, Elex has been seeping into everything on Magalan. That makes the background noise from it hard to read. If I'm to learn more, we must follow those mutants to find where the Elex is coming from. We know where we have to go. I'll follow you this time. You did well.
Alright.
I'm better at sensing Elex than any person I know. But there are mutants with the same ability. You should be careful in case the Elex deposit has attracted them.
I'm sure it has, so I guess we'll head there soon. And it seems like we've just abandoned Duras, so I'm gonna assume that he just went back to camp. So, ladies and gentlemen, next episode we will, with Katja in tow, make our way towards this supposed deposit that she has detected, and see what kind of things we can learn from there. But until then, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch or subscribe to my Stream Archive channel if you're interested in such content. Links in the description below as always, and until next time, have yourselves a wonderful night.